Now on CoastTV News.
3 hotels in 3 different phases, the changing landscape in downtown Rehoboth Beach.
A new traffic light in Milton, what locals say about the change.
And what a difference a day makes. The heat wave is gone for now. We're going to be right back up into the lower 90s over the weekend with some afternoon storm chances. We'll break it all down in my full forecast here in minutes.
This is CoastTV News at 5.
Plans in motion for multiple new Rehoboth Beach hotels. Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf.
And I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
A hotel called Atlantic Crowne, its site plan went in front of the city's planning commission. This would be on Baltimore Avenue, the area you see there. CoastTV News reporter Brandon Ferguson is live in Rehoboth Beach. Brandon, the sites for these hotels are just a few hundred feet away from each other.
Maddie, behind me is a familiar site for the people here on the Rehoboth Beach Boardwalk. Construction barricades up. Now these barricades are up for a demolition to make way for the approved One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel. Now if you follow me, next to the demolition and next to the new Beach Patrol station, on the other side of the Beach Patrol station is the Atlantic Sands Hotel. Now follow me on this. Behind the Atlantic Sands, at that property there is where the Atlantic Crowne Hotel is proposed to go, and plans for the Crowne have it having 55 rooms, 42 basement spots, all here on Baltimore Avenue. The Atlantic Crowne Hotel, the Belhaven project, and the One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel. 3 different projects in 3 different phases.
Being rebuilt, and it just, to me, beautifies a beach town.
Starting with the Atlantic Crowne Hotel, the Planning Commission reviewed a site plan for the project today that's now moving forward to a public hearing. Eventually, if the Atlantic Crowne Hotel does get approved, it's going to go right on this property, and this property is right up against the Atlantic Sands Hotel here on Baltimore Avenue. According to plans, the Atlantic Crowne Hotel would be 4 floors. Debbie Stoops visits Rehoboth often and says the more hotels, the better. We
would love to be able to stay on the beach and have more options.
Now let's move to the Belhaven Hotel. This project has been in the works for years. The 4-story hotel would sit right here on the corner of Rehoboth Avenue, but local Bob Matthews says that's the last place a hotel should go.
I think that it would ruin the appeal of the smaller shops, and I don't think it would fit in.
On July 25th, the Planning Commission will resume a public hearing about the final site plans for the Belhaven. Lastly, the only approved project out of the 3, the One Rehoboth Avenue Hotel, which will house 60 rooms right here on the boardwalk.
We also need beachfront hotel rooms here, although sometimes they're not cost efficient.
3 different projects in 3 different phases, but one thing is certain: more hotels are on the way to the nation's summer capital. Plans for the Atlantic Crowne Hotel have it covering 3 lots until there's 2 lots left after the Crowne right up against First Street, and there's been no date set for the public hearing for the Atlantic Crowne Hotel. Live in Rehoboth Beach, Brandon Ferguson, CoastTV News.
In case you didn't know, the demolition of the former Grottos and Sirocco Hotel were extended. That's because crews discovered the building's integrity structurally was compromised, so the demolition extension, it was until today.
A new traffic light has been installed in Milton. CoastTV News' Zakia Jennings is live in the First Alert Weather Jeep. Zakia, it's at the busy intersection of Mulberry Street and Route 16.
Charlie, I'm heading down Mulberry Street now, heading towards that intersection. If you take a look here, you see that traffic light is set up, but if you look closely, it's still covered up. On June 6th, a woman died in a car accident at this intersection. Locals say this is needed here, but they want everything to be set up properly before it's up and running.
Everything takes time, and having moved from the city over here, I get that it takes time to get the lights synchronized so you don't have traffic jams going on. So I say I'd rather have them take their time and get it right, get the timing right before they actually turn it on.
DelDOT has not yet set up a firm date for when the traffic light will become fully operational. Live in Milton, Zakia Jennings, CoastTV News.
And this brings us right into our Coast TV poll. We want to know what makes driving dangerous here on the coast right now.
Let's take a look at the results so far. 74% say bad drivers, though 12% say summer traffic, 10% say distracted driving, 4% say bikers or pedestrians on the road.
And if I'm doing my math right, distracted driving could also count as bad drivers. So
agree.
that's about
Right.
84% there if you want to. And we do have a comment from Mike in Rehoboth. He says, quote, all the out-of-staters blocking the roads and intersections during summer.
Well, if
We've
you haven't
seen that,
voted, yeah, we have seen that. And if you haven't voted yet and want to give your opinion, I read some of the comments. A lot of them are about out-of-staters. But if you want to give any other opinion or that opinion, you can do it right now, coasttv.com or our mobile app.
And we're taking a live look into Ocean. Well, we're trying to take a look into Ocean View right now. It looks a bit rainy, a bit gray out there, so we need to get a little more information from our first alert meteorologist. It is Chris Mastrobuono.
Hey there, Charlie. Yeah, what a difference a day makes, right? We snapped the heat wave at 9 days, only reaching 72 degrees for a high in Georgetown. And check out this temperature difference, anywhere between 9 degrees cooler about 24 hours ago today from yesterday, and we're nearly 22 degrees cooler along the eastern shore. We're in the 60s in Rehoboth, lower 70s elsewhere, all thanks to that persistent east wind coming off the ocean. We've seen gusts as high as 20, 25 miles an hour. We're also seeing some fog develop, a lot of low clouds, visibility down to 2 miles in Ocean City, down to about 1 mile and 3/4 in Georgetown. Here's a live look in the Laurel. See the low clouds, 72 degrees. Can't rule out a spotty shower, some drizzle through the evening. Most of the area stays dry, and temperatures are going to hold relatively steady in the lower 70s. You can see the cloud cover well intact throughout much of Delmarva. We had a few areas of rain across Accomack County. That is now pushing off the coast, and that cold front stalled out over Norfolk. That's going to lift northward as a warm front. So we're going to be back in the lower 90s for our Saturday, feeling like 100 to 104. We have a thunderstorm chance both days. We'll talk more about that in the 7-day forecast here in minutes.
Chris, thank you. The Upper Ferry in Wicomico County is closing for an indefinite period of time. The ferry closes tonight at 7 for what's called a major overhaul. The county says it's going to be out of service until further notice.
Maryland State Police are investigating after a man was hit and killed on Route 12. Troopers say it was near Carmine Road around 4:21 a.m. Police are investigating. They say the driver did remain at the scene.
Staying in Maryland, the state is taking new steps to stop gun violence, launching a gun violence data dashboard. The dashboard depicts the scope of gun violence and its impact across Maryland in the last 10 years. It comes alongside a preliminary state gun violence prevention plan that's based on a public health approach to address gun violence, using preventative measures, policy development, and systemic changes.
The Blood Bank of Delmarva issuing an urgent call for blood donors ahead of the 4th of July weekend. Listen to the numbers here. The organization says blood donations are down 38% across Delaware. The need is especially high for type O negative and B negative, with O negative being a universal type used in emergencies.
New at 5, California Governor Gavin Newsom is suing Fox News for $787 million for defamation. The suit was filed in Delaware. That's where Fox News is incorporated. The Democratic governor accusing the network of defaming him during its reporting of a phone call Newsom reportedly had with President Donald Trump. Fox News calls the lawsuit a publicity stunt.
The Supreme Court justices today limiting how far federal judges can go when ruling on cases with nationwide impact. The case centered on President Trump's executive order from his very first day in office on challenging and changing the interpretation of birthright citizenship. NBC's Ryan Nobles breaks down the ruling.
The Supreme Court handing President Trump a victory today, ruling on birthright citizenship, narrowing the scope of federal judges' decisions on nationwide cases.
An amazing decision, one that we're very happy about.
The president signed an executive order calling for an end to birthright citizenship as we know it on his first day in office. But federal judges blocked that order nationwide. The Trump administration argued those judges didn't have the authority to rule for the entire country.
The Supreme Court has delivered a monumental victory for the Constitution, the separation of powers, and the rule of law, in striking down the excessive use of nationwide injunctions to interfere with the normal functioning of the executive branch.
The Constitution's 14th Amendment reads that all persons born or naturalized in the United States and subject to the jurisdiction thereof are citizens of the United States. The president wants to adopt a completely new meaning of the language, giving citizenship to people born in this country only if one of their parents is a citizen or a permanent resident. All of this part of his hardline immigration policy. The High Court's ruling prompting swift reactions from the plaintiffs who sued to block the president's executive order, now vowing to fight.
Announce our intention to file a class action lawsuit to preserve and defend the constitutional rights of all children born to immigrants in this country.
The court was divided on ideological lines on the issue, with conservatives in the majority and liberals in dissent. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson wrote that the decision was, quote, an existential threat to the rule of law. And here on Capitol Hill, House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries said that he will continue to fight to protect birthright citizenship. Meanwhile, President Trump can now turn his attention to his big, beautiful bill, which includes funding for his immigration agenda. Ryan Nobles, NBC News, Washington.
A Maryland pharmacy program cut what federal cuts are eliminating.
Well, we're going to get these clouds out of here that are in place today. Sunshine back out over the weekend, and we're ramping the heat right back up with daily thunderstorm chances. We'll talk about that, my latest 7-day forecast in minutes.
From bowls on the beach to stars in the sky, we've got your weekend plans covered, so stay tuned for your cool things to do.
This is Coast TV News at 5.
The heat wave might be simmering down, but weekend plans are just heating up.
We are just one weekend away from the 4th of July. Christina DeRobertis has your cool things to do.
If you don't have a fancy European vacation planned for the summer, don't worry. Europe is coming to you. The Starboard in Dewey Beach is bringing a taste of Pamplona, Spain to the coast with the 28th annual Running of the Bull. Down the beach and through the streets, this event brings people together for the sake of silliness and to raise money for the Rehoboth Beach Volunteer Fire Company. Over in Lincoln, Compassionate Hearts is hosting their Healing Hooves fundraiser this Saturday from 3 to 6. Meet therapy horses that do amazing work helping people heal, and your support can help fund equine-assisted psychotherapy for those who need it most. The BB Ranch is opening its doors for a grand opening event this Saturday from 11 to 6. Explore some new exhibits and learn about the rich history of Chincoteague. After the grand opening, the ranch will be open Tuesday through Saturday until October. And if you're still wondering about plans for Saturday night, head to Millsboro for a community favorite, the Stars and Stripes Festival. It's happening from 6 to 9:30 at the Millsboro Little League Fields on West State Street. Enjoy food trucks, vendors, live music, and a fireworks show to cap off the night. The rain date is Sunday. You can find event details, tickets, and more. Just go to coasttv.com and click on Cool Things to Do.
Well, we went from shorts and t-shirts to hoodies and sweatpants in a matter of 24 hours. Ocean view 70 degrees, persistent onshore flow. You could barely see the bridge there, the Indian River Inlet Bridge. Temperatures holding relatively steady through the evening. A spot shower, some areas of drizzle, very misty out there, especially along the coast where we're beginning to see some fog roll in. Visibility down to about 1.75 miles in Georgetown. You can see temperatures really haven't budged much today. 69 Rehoboth, we're at 70 Dagsboro, 71 in Laurel, 69 in Harrington. You can see those winds racing off the ocean, gusting pretty well along the coast, anywhere from 25 to 30 miles an hour. We have been socked into the cloud cover. We've seen some rain to the south across Accomack County, seeing a few light showers and sprinkles pushing in along Chincoteague, but that backdoor cold front is going to reverse course, push northward as a warm front overnight, and that's going to allow temperatures to actually rise through the overnight. We're going to hit our low just after midnight, and then by tomorrow morning, we're in the upper 70s to lower 80s. So tonight, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, some patchy fog at the coast, Lows in the lower 70s. By tomorrow afternoon, we're up to 92 degrees. Isolated storm chances both days, kind of carbon copy days throughout the day tomorrow. We're looking at those heat indices anywhere between 100, 104, feeling like 102 in Seaford, around 2 tomorrow. And then the same on Sunday. Interior Delmarva feeling like 102 in Millsboro, 103 in Salisbury, and then that humidity is going to really stay locked into play through Monday. So Futurecast shows a few of those pop-up thunderstorms developing with the sea breeze. Everyone's not going to see a thunderstorm tomorrow, but where you do see one, could be brief downpours, maybe some gusty winds, and then we'll do the same on Sunday. In fact, Sunday trending a bit drier, but there you see some potential thunderstorms by Fenwick Island into Ocean City Sunday afternoon. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center has pushed the severe threat further to the north, northern eastern shore, Newcastle County. As far as your 3-day beach forecast, Saturday in Chickateague, 85 to 92 on Sunday. We keep the afternoon storm threat in play. Fenwick Island, we're up to near 90 on Sunday. And our warmer beaches, Lewis and Rehoboth, we're looking at temperatures generally in the mid to upper 80s with daily thunderstorm chances. You can see the thunderstorm chances really ramp up Tuesday. That's really the day where we have that stronger cold front pushing through. In fact, we could see a strong to severe threat there. We'll have to monitor that, but behind it, we dry out, temperatures fall a bit, but the humidity is going to be suppressed, I think, a bit into Wednesday. So we keep the daily thunderstorm threats in play at least through Monday, and then that better chance of widespread thunderstorm activity rolls in the day on Tuesday. It looks like Thursday night will be the time frame, but then we're looking really nice Wednesday through the 4th of July with temperatures right around 90 degrees, but dry, free of any rain chances.
New across Delmarva, a new outdoor program is launching in Salisbury. City officials say Game On is a free community-led program at Lake Street Playground designed to get kids moving and families connecting. The event starts Monday, June 30th from 10 a.m. to noon and will include games, a bounce house, and an ice cream truck.
A live look right now outside the eastbound span of the Bay Bridge. Take a look there. You can see traffic going both ways on this span. Now, before the broadcast, there were backups for miles on the eastbound side. And again, two-way traffic in effect to handle that. So just plan ahead regardless of which way you're driving.
That's right.
Coming up tonight on the Delmarva Sports Network at 7:30, it's boys basketball and Maryland Supreme Basketball League. Then at 10:30, the final score.
And coming up, cuts target the University of Maryland's School of Pharmacy. What they're losing. Stay tuned on CoastTV News at 5. Federal funding cuts have hit home at the University of Maryland's School of Pharmacy. Several employees, including professors, are set to be laid off due to DEI funding reductions. A $9.4 million grant from the NIH made up about 25 to 30% of the funding for the program.
I received the termination letter. I was baffled. I couldn't believe that the work that we've done to improve health here in Baltimore, and with this new grant, we were going to bring this approach to improving health to all Americans, and suddenly we were labeled as DEI.
Dr. Mullen's program is where researchers partner with patients and care providers to answer questions about the best treatment to improve their health.
Americans feel better about the economy for now. That's according to the University of Michigan's latest survey. Consumer sentiment climbed 16% this month, but compared to December, it's down about 18% in June. The survey's director thinks consumers believe President Donald Trump's tariffs, quote, won't be as bad as they were in the spring. Let's go ahead and take a live look outside, or attempt to, in Laurel. A foggy forecast for you after the break.
Coming up new on CoastTV News at 6, a look at the new Sussex Central High School when the district says it's going to open.
Well, not the greatest Friday evening. Very misty, foggy out there. Spotty drizzle. Temperatures holding in the lower 70s. And, yep, those mosquitoes out in full force through the weekend with plenty of humidity around, extreme levels of humidity there. And Laura Bravaco of Millsboro, Delaware, you're the winner of our Paul Davis umbrella. You get your forecast anytime by dialing the First Alert weather phone. Your 10-day forecast shows temperatures hovering right around the lower 90s over the next 4 days with isolated thunderstorm chances really through Monday. More widespread thunderstorm possible on Tuesday with a strong cold front pushing through. And then we finally settle into a calm weather pattern, but still rather warm with temperatures in the upper 80s to around the 90-degree mark.
All right, Chris, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 5.
For more news, more local weather, download our Coast TV News app.
Inside Edition is up next.
And we'll see you later tonight for Coast TV News at 6. Have a great evening.